views expressed on this program are not the views of Power FM or the presenter.
Voice of the People is a dynamic and interactive radio phone-in show that gives listeners a platform to voice their opinions on current affairs, social issues, and community concerns. With engaging discussions, expert insights, real-time audience participation. Voice of the People.
Good morning once again and welcome to Voice of the People. Today we are joined in studio by Honorable Jeffrey Murebwa, also popularly known as Apostle Jeff Murebwa. He is an independent member of parliament for Kafulufuta constituency, a lawyer by profession and a spiritual leader by calling. He occupies a unique space in Zambia's 13th National Assembly. Since his election in 2021, he has maintained a reputation as a high-energy voice of conscience, famously stating that he felt like breakdancing to the national budget for its developmental focus, balancing legal rigors of parliamentary committees, including planning and budgeting, with his apostolic duties. Apostle Murebwa, or rather Honorable Murebwa, is a pivotal figure in the Copperbelt's political landscape, championing true transformation of Kafulufuta from the rural outpost to a hub of water security and agricultural productivity.
You're tuned in today's edition of Voice of the People on the Power Breakfast. Today we host Honorable Apostle Jeff Murebwa, independent member of parliament for Kafulufuta constituency, a lawyer, man of the cloth, and legislator serving on critical parliamentary committees as an independent voice in parliament. He has spoken on morality, governance, national priority, and constituency development. We are talking CDF accountability, the tough truths of agricultural inputs, and the political soul of his constituents. This morning, you can come to you by calling on the number 0979-192485 or 0955-997-997. Welcome, Honorable, and good morning to you.
Thank you very much. I'm humbled to be here. And good morning, listeners.
Indeed. All right, so now let's start by explaining, maybe you can explain more on why you did choose to run as an independent MP rather than under a political party.
Wow, that's a big one. My initial plans were to stand on UPND, but I couldn't be adopted, but people in the area said, we see someone who can help us in every way here, someone who can develop the place, someone who has the heart of the people. So don't worry about this. Can you stand as independent, and we'll support you and vote for you. And the people in the area actually kept their word when they said they will support and vote for me. And that's basically what brought me to Parliament.
Okay. Now, we've heard most times of how they say that when you're running as an independent MP, most of the projects that you might be doing, if you are campaigning, are coming out of your own pocket. So what advantages and limitation does being an independent bring in Parliament?
I think the major one is that sometimes a party will come up with a decision that you may not agree with, but because you are standing on the party, you will be whipped to support the party's agenda. But as an independent member of parliament, I do what I feel will go right with the people that I represent. So it's not about the party, but about the people that I'm representing. So the past 4 years, I think that has worked out very well for me, and I've definitely been loyal to the people that elected me. There is nothing else that I work for apart from being loyal to the people that elected me, and being independent has helped me to fulfill such.
And just to take you back a little bit, for all those who might be hearing about you for the very first time, I never really quite understood why you got into politics. Walk us through that decision. What made you decide I actually want to represent the people of Kafulufuta?
Right, okay. You may wish to know that I was born and bred in Kafulufuta. So I grew up there and went to school. Then later on, at some point, my late wife and I, with our children rather, relocated to the United Kingdom. And along the way, Dangote Industries decided to come and do the cement project in my area. And once this decision was made, Dangote Industries was given a very big piece of land by our chief. And what happened was our chief decided not to compensate. I don't know whether it was Dangote in conjunction with our chief. They refused to compensate people that were affected by the project. So at that time we had Mr. Honorable Chitafu, he was a member of parliament, who, when people cried to him, he didn't want to know. I had to come back from the United Kingdom to come and listen to the people's cry. Nothing happened. People lost their land. Then we had Honorable Joseph Kawamba, who came, and him too did nothing. So I decided there was no other way to help the people in the area apart from voicing out. I took the matter to court on behalf of the people, and that is basically what made people believe that I was serious with what I was doing, and I was sincere, and my heart was set to serve them and nothing else of personal gain.
So you said you took the matter to court. What was the outcome? What was the verdict?
Well, you know, we are living in a world of mingalato. A lot of mingalato have been played since 2013, but finally it was decided, those that were playing mingalato, they asked the court, rather they applied to the court that the matter goes for arbitration, and that is where we are now. We are preparing to go for arbitration.
Okay, and to just take you now back to what Fortrace was asking, how do you ensure that your independence does not weaken your ability to secure development for Kafula-Futa? Because I'm sure you don't have the backing of a party. It's you standing as an independent.
Well, I don't think that there is any member of parliament that develops their areas or their constituencies using their own resources. The resources that develop constituents come from government. So that being the case, I am entitled to receive whatever everybody else is receiving, whether on a ruling party or not. So the share that they get is a share that I get. What has been working really is the honesty of heart. I've never tried to divert any single way from the CDF allocated to me. If anything, I've ensured that whatever is spent for the right cause, and we have the quality job that we'll be looking for. So we've done actually amazing things with the CDF, and CDF has been a game changer for us, and I give credit to the New Dawn government on that score. So it's been good, and we've done what has never been seen in Kafula-Futa, and I don't think that there will be a replication of what we've done so far, because in the past 4 years we've done 60 projects, and we still have a few more projects coming. Some of these projects have been as a result of the CDF. Some have lobbied with central government, who have been gracious to help us as a constituents. So we're moving forward, and we're seeing great things being done.
So which local projects has delivered the most impact with the Constituency Development Fund, according to you?
Come again?
With regards to the projects that you have highlighted, 60 projects,
yes,
with the utilization of CDF in itself, which local projects has delivered the most impact and which has underperformed?
Okay, I must say that the major score that we've had so far is we have areas that never had any health post, areas that had never had a school, We now have proper schools. Of course, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of providing staff housing accommodation. For example, we have a health post in Chikoka where there is a clinic, there's a maternity wing, there is one staff housing, but you know that place will need a lot more people than just having one house. We've had maternity wing in Katonte. These are remote areas where there was absolutely nothing. And we've also seen with roads that had never been attended to since independence. These roads have been worked on, or rather made, because there was absolutely nothing. So we've had, it's a mixed crew really. We've had roads, we've had schools, health posts, and right now we approved a project where we need to have Starlink in a very remote area. There is a clinic there, there is a school, but people are completely cut off. And it's useless to have a clinic, and then we talk about ambulance services when people cannot access these facilities because they are not connected to any network. So we are looking at that, and I'm sure before the end of this year, those people will have some service of some sort.
Kafulafuta is a constituency in Masaiti district, right?
Exactly.
So, taking you back a little bit, were you in support of Bill 7, now known as Act number 13?
I was not actually. Okay. I did not support it. There are several reasons that I had. First of all, there was the issue of the Constitutional Court ruling that it was not legal and it was not constitutional. And I, being a lawyer, did not want to suppress my conscience, because the genesis of the bill, actually, according to law, was not right, okay? Like the Constitutional Court ruled, anything, you can do something right today, but if you miss the process, I did this in company law, in criminal law, in tort law, as well as in employment law. You can do the right thing, but if you do not follow procedure, that act will be now and void. I know that this is now, Bill 7 is now law, but it does not stop me from giving my opinion. So that was one of the reasons I couldn't support Bill 7. The second reason was I did not have time to consult with my electorates at the constituency. So these are people that trusted me when I was abandoned. These are the people that picked me up and said, look, we believe in you and we trust that you can help this constituency. So I couldn't make a decision without their input. And after the bill was enacted into law, I had time to go back. I didn't realize how impactful my decision was, because according to them, they said, look, we feel so honored that you could not support this bill without our input. So it's something that I don't regret. And besides that, you know, voting is a right of every individual. Besides that, again, I do what I do, bearing in mind that I'm doing service first to God, then to human. If I do something that grieves my heart and it does not give me peace, then I'm not doing anybody a service. So my heart was just not settled to support something that brought up so much controversy.
So would you say you are in support or not in support of delimitation?
The limitation is a good thing, but it's where or how it was brought in. There were issues that are of core value here, and the core value that I'm looking at is a process. Obviously, delimitation was needed and is needed, but I was not comfortable with the foundation of the bill. So delimitation is a good thing, and I do sympathize with a lot of MPs who have constituencies that could be maybe half the United Kingdom, yet they still have to produce results. It's a good thing, but we're talking about a process that I was not agreeable to.
Do remember that this is Voice of the People, so you too can call us up. You can send us a message that is on 0955-997-997. That's strictly for phone calls. But you can call us up and message us on 0979-192-485 or 0961-690-487. In studio with us, we host Honorable Apostle Jeff Murebwa, who's an independent member of parliament for Kafula-Futa constituency. He's a lawyer, man of the cloth, and legislator serving on critical parliamentary committees. And now, going to this particular matter, I would say, or rather staying on I would say, committees, how would you say you've influenced outcomes when it comes to the planning and budgeting committee so far with your work in that area?
Look, in life, there is nothing that beats honesty. I approach issues with honesty, not just that, but logic really must prevail all the time. Besides that, you also look at the facts on the ground. How do we relate to this? How do we relate to that? Like right now, we would be looking at, because the agreement that was between the Zambian government and IMF is coming to an end on the 31st of January. So we are basically revealing how this has affected our nation, has it affected us positively or negatively. So I don't need to do anything apart from looking at where we've come from, where we are, and where we hope to go. So that is the information that I work with. I want to look at things objectively and basically see where do we want to go as a nation? Where are we? Where have we come from? What have we achieved? What help have we received from IMF and all that? So this is what I've always worked with, and I know that every time that I will speak, I think there is this combination of not just a legal aspect, but there is also the aspect of honesty and sincerity. So this is how we do it, and I don't think that there is anything that beats that.
And you did famously say that you wanted to break dance to the budget. Now that we're in 2026, is the music still playing? Especially for your constituency.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah. The music is still playing, and very loudly, actually.
And now, and also when it comes to the fact that a number of critics would say for all of those who are transitioning from being, rather, I'd say, taking a step into politics from coming from a place of religion, how have you handled the critics who say that a man of God has no place in politics because it's a dirty game?
Deception is one of the tools that Satan uses to ensure that he achieves his agenda. If there are people that need to be in politics, it must be the Christian people. We've seen over the years that almost everybody believes that politicians are liars, and you don't believe everything that they say. Whatever they say, take it with a pinch of salt. It's a different matter, and my understanding is completely different. Look, the Bible says, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. And when the wicked are in power, the people go into hiding. So how do you rule if you are not in politics. How do we fulfill that scripture? I mean, King David was a politician. Moses was a politician. You cannot be anything in politics without being a politician. The basis, though, will be when I entered into politics. How did I enter? What was the driving force? My driving force, and that which still drives me today, is to see to it that Zambians are not lied to. That I'll never accept, because as far as I'm concerned, life does not start and end here. One day I'll stand before God and give account. And that is what drives me to be honest here and to try my best. I know I'm human with a lot of flaws, but there is that bit of a desire that tells me you've got to be honest, because if you promise people this today, know that there is tomorrow. I'll need to come back and people will ask me, this is what you said, what has happened? Right today, actually, maybe around 9 hours or so, I've been told that Honorable Elisha Matambo will be in my constituency. There is a team of people that have been fighting since I became an MP, those from UPND to be specific. So because of the many scores that we've made, people have appreciated me. The 3-year-olds, even when I'm driving around, will be shouting for my name. It doesn't matter what time, but people love me incredibly. So according to them, in fact, I've got one of the voice notes here where the district chairman was saying, oh, Murebwa didn't support Bill 7, he would teach him a lesson. And I've got it on my phone. I wish I had it ready. I was going to play it for you to listen to it. So they are going there basically with a mission to decampaign me because they want UPND candidate. Now, how foolish can someone be to fight someone who has the people that you need to win an election? If I was in their shoes, I would be looking at how can we get this popular figure to be with us so that we win this seat. But they are doing things the opposite way. And very, very unfortunately, the whole entire minister goes into my constituency, first of all, without announcing that is going in my constituency. And I've spoken to Honorable Matambo 2 times before. I know he's a minister. I know he's trusted in UPND. But you don't want to sink solo in the next 5-10 years. He's not going to be where he is today. So if he cannot do things with dignity and fear of God, I'm afraid he's not going anywhere. He might acquire this, that, and for him as a Christian, and I know he's a church elder somewhere, I can never ever sacrifice my Christian position for politics. I can't do that. So I've just been told, I called him the other night, I wanted to know, how do you come to my constituency? Yes, you will say I'm a Copper Belt minister and you're in the ruling party. Am I not part of government? That's my constituency. Why can't you give a courtesy to say, listen, I have issues to address in your constituency, or even make an invitation if you are really, really wise in what you are doing. Why not be transparent and make an invitation? Honorable, we'll be in your constituency on this day. Would you like to come so that we address these matters or not? This is something that a lot of leaders miss. They think when they hold a position, then they become leaders. I am not a leader because I was elected. I am a leader because people appreciate my lifestyle and they follow me. That is what makes a genuine leader a leader. You don't become a leader because you've been, even these elections we go through, this is not what makes somebody a leader. A leader is made because of their conduct, and they have people that appreciate and admire them. Then they decide, I would like to support what this person is doing. So it's really strange that you see people who want to brag in power, but no wisdom at all. No wisdom. And I've always argued this point to say, look, when you go back to the Bible, Solomon was enthroned as king in Israel. And out of gratefulness, he gave a lot of sacrifice to God. And when he went to bed, God visited him in the night. He said, Solomon, I appreciate what you've done. What would you like me to do for you? God asking Solomon, what would you like now that you are king? And he said one cardinal thing that we all miss as leaders. He said, you've given me an awesome responsibility to lead your people, so I want you to bless me with wisdom. That is what is recorded in the scriptures. But we want to boast on our positions, exercise our power or authority without minding that in leadership, what is cardinal is wisdom. So this is something that I always pray for and always desire to apply in my life.
So, Honorable, the UPND feels that the constitutional amendment itself was heavily politicized. Now, according to you, would you say there are certain policies or developmental projects that you feel were politicized? Because we have heard reports of how especially when it comes to the independent members, they keep on saying that when it comes to CDF, it's very hard for them to have access to it because they are not aligned with the ruling party. What's your take on that?
Well, I'll be honest. Look, like I said earlier, I always deal with issues in truthfulness. I do not agree with that because I've accessed CDF like anybody in the ruling party. When I talk about the 60 projects that we've done so far, the roads that we've made, everything that we've accomplished, it has been through CDF. So I don't think that is something that people should take seriously, because when the allocation is made in Parliament by the Minister of Finance, we are all given equal shares. So I don't agree with that, because I have always accessed CDF and it has worked wonders in my constituency.
Okay. So how do you measure your effectiveness as a lawmaker? You earlier on did say that you are truly loved by the people. And looking at how Parliament will be dissolved very soon, 90 days, what laws or motion or debates have you meaningfully influenced since you took office in 2021?
Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm on the quiet side. I always believe in doing my work. I use my head. Let me say, mostly I will speak when I feel this matter needs my voice. But when you talk about debates and so on, the few that I've heavily debated on, for example, I think this must have been the 2023 budget, when we were talking about the anti-corruption. I think, this was 2022 when there was COVID, right? We were just recovering from COVID. There was a budget on anti-corruption, and I strongly opposed that the anti-corruption should be given such money, because there were cases that I knew that the anti-corruption knew. I personally took those cases to them with overwhelming evidence, and nothing was done. So I didn't see any reason why the government should waste money funding an institution that is not serving its purpose. So on that one, I came out very strongly, and I said, no, of course, at the end of the day, you vote whether yes or no, and my voice was in the minority. Of course, the debate went the other way, but that does not discount anything what is right, what is wrong. So I put my foot down on that one. Then the second one, I think there was a motion that was coming to Parliament, basically to try and legalize multiple wives, if I may put it that way. Yeah, that one I didn't put a bit about the bush. I said, look, we are a Christian nation. Why did this motion even appear in Parliament? Because as a Christian nation, we should make our decisions going by the Christian values. So I strongly opposed that before it went anywhere, and thankfully that motion was withdrawn and it has never come back to Parliament.
Just taking you back a little bit, so now some sections of society feel that the FIC, the ACC, the DEC needs to be run independently. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Why do you say that?
Well, when I was studying law, I believe this was in public law, yes, public law. Public law talks about the rule of law. So when you talk about the rule of law, that cannot work if there is no separation of powers. You can't be the goalkeeper, be the defender, be a striker, be a midfielder. You always should know your area of operation and make your contribution from your area of operation. So if us as a nation are going to be functional, we cannot overlook other institutions, make these institutions run by one person. It can't work like that.
So do you think there might be a certain influence that comes out of the judgments or the cases that are being followed up if it's part of the executive?
I do not have evidence to that effect, but I can certainly echo the fact that the institutions that we've talked about are supposed to be completely independent. Like I said, I was privileged to have lived in the United Kingdom. What makes these countries that are developed to develop they have a strong law base. I don't know whether that makes any sense, but the rule of law, I must say, is something that they uphold. They don't look at who is who. They don't look at people's faces when they are dealing with cases. Why do you even pay staff operating such institutions if at the end of the day you know that they are redundant? So this is not something that should be entertained. We should stand as Zambians, let the judiciary operate as a judiciary, let the executive work as executives, let the legislature work as a legislature, and whichever institution is under us should be left to be run professionally if this country is going to see any development.
Do remember you can be part of this conversation. Call us up, send us a message that is either on 0979-192-485 or 0961-690-487. Also what you can do is call us up directly, and that is on 0955-997-997. Today we host Honorable Jeff Murebwa, who is an independent member of Parliament for Kafula-Futa constituency. He is a lawyer, the man of a cloth, and a legislator serving on a number of parliamentary committees. Now going on to infrastructure, if I should say. The Ndola and Kapiu Road remains a lifeline and a hazard, though, to some. What would you say is the current status of the feeder roads that connect your farmers within your constituency to the main markets? How is that so far?
No, so far, because when I came into office, my first priority, my priority was to address the road infrastructure. We've not done a perfect job. We haven't achieved what we want to achieve, but so far I must say that as far as there's a road we call the Chankute Road, we have done our part and the road is very much passable, and the Old Congo Border Road is something that we are also working to ensure that it's in a good shape. So we do not have that kind of challenge. We paid attention to the roads first because there were no roads to talk about in Kafulafuta before I came to office.
We do have a caller on the line. Remember, you can also be part of this conversation. Call us up, send us a message. That's on 0979 192 485. Hello, good morning. You're through to Voice of the People. Who are we speaking to?
Yeah. Arrivo. Good morning, Madam Moderator.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, God bless you to receive 95% the people of plus spokesperson Kapambu. I'm calling from here in Zingarume.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, thank you.
Yeah. Kwenda ni mwebu kwati mwewe shapo tere kwati D.O.P ni mwebu tulefwaya ukumono gutire chalo angu mwatekere mwebu kwati timwa kontrola ne chalo kozi mulalilirama Zambia neti lipole elo neti kesa abapo tuletotera mwebu kwena ndemi totera kalwandi baona nebo kusa kuli topiki ito tuwalete tekela mulo siyaku mulo kupoka ama powers ya mo ya kwa president President amaka kwata yali luwana lindi mkungi mpia kwa ntanshif katika kuleta na echongo pamulanda kwa tisionse tintu tichitikwa vena president kwa liba ama appointi eya vipa mchalo chesu cha Zambia Electoral Commission Chief Justice SG Chirepindika vyalinga polina ni president ale ikata kwenino yakwe. LCC vyalinga president ale sangwa kwa. Because it into vyonse ninchi. All the institution because of the power of the president is moral and decay. Mu country. Ngata kwa levi abantu wa mani okumuneki. Mauna de pokuti mwamu ya sikuene fiyo mtu wali andali ndikwena file pala kuti karita problem. Mwene kwa nantela kwa example lelo. Nga mwati mwone registrar of society. Chavinga na sampabalile. Ilio baile kulia bayasango wale bombako bamwe bati tulembele ama pepo tupele. Mchintu cha abantu abengi. Akana chifte sinchite. The registrar of society baya mchinja. Bajaki mumbu baya chinjako ulia. Panda wakatama powers through president. Baya mchinjako, baya leta ko. Muntu umbi wa shilesumina. Ifintu ikia illegal. Achinja mapepa within 24 hours.
We're just kindly asking if you can wrap up to accommodate the callers.
Yes. Uyo wine muntu wa mwati mwenelero chavinga. Ni pate president. Ni leader of opposition mu parliament. Which means leader of opposition in parliament sibai paya. Pamulandu wakwati amako ukwete ni president. And then yama Zambia ni wale elolesha. And then yama kochu ilili ya shuku kwisha 4 years. Wafiro kupasing a judgment. It's very pity sorrow in this country. Kia kwa dina senda vyomu wanawandi within 5 minutes size. Tijeti aresta chabu criminal mu country. Noko na ulo mtendo wa chalo. But munesa nga dwa kisunga 4 years. But okay na cheni mwantu la kwa lesa mwa kweta mano. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for coming through. And remember, you can also call in. You can send us a message. That is once again on 0955 997 997. That's strictly for phone calls. And you can send a message or call on 0979 192 485 or 0961 690 487. So, Honorable, allow you to respond to our previous caller's comments.
Well, I think I don't have much to say because I'm not privy to the kind of information that he has. That is his opinion, which I respect. And I think that he has voiced himself out very well. Look, let me just say this. When, as politicians, normally, and I've seen why many times people that had good morals get into politics suddenly change. We seem to think that we are the almighties. We think we are above everybody and everything. But that is deception of the highest order. we don't, I don't have to waste time here